Today I'm going to show you my take at a DIY basketball hoop that actually failed, but Paul ended up saving it. I'll walk you through the wood cuts in a second, but you'll need a measuring tape, wood glue, pencil, some stain if you want to change the color of the wood that you're working with, or paint. I ended up going with the American walnut, some clamps, a sewing circle, chandelier crystal, string pieces, which I've linked below. I ended up not using the pliers at all, and then a sewing circle E6000, a nail gun, and a wireless drill. I cut down a couple of 1x4x8s into 6 different pieces that measured 36 inches each. Those 6 pieces are going to be my backboard. I did cut down 4 pieces of wood that were on the thinner side at a 45-degree angle to go around those 6 pieces to frame it out. That's totally optional though. I pushed those 6 pieces together and I clamped them down to stay in place, added a line of wood glue and a scrap piece of wood that was the width of these boards and nail gunned directly through it into the back of those boards. I ended up using 4 pieces of scrap wood for support. I did 1 on each end and then 2 in the middle, but go ahead and situate it to whichever way fits your size of backboard. Like I said, you can leave it as is or paint it. I am going to sand it down until completely smooth and stain it with my American walnut stain. I only used 1 coat of this stain and I loved how the color turned out. I also stained the frame pieces because we're going to attach those after we sand it down very, very lightly to add some personality. I added some wood glue to the edges and then the pieces and used my nail gun to secure it. While doing this, and it seems like a no-brainer, I realized that the base of this wood, like this piece right here, is such a good base for any kind of DIY signage you wanted to do or home decor signs. You could just paint right on top of it. As much as I wanted to hijack this DIY for home decor purposes, I ended up just taping out and painting a rectangle. But with this, I did take my time. It's kind of self-explanatory. You just want to make sure all the lines are straight and even according to the dimensions of your board. After that dried, I peeled off the paint and truly fell in love with this and knew that the chandelier edition would really tie it together, but unfortunately it didn't work. I am still going to show you though, because I really have faith it would work for a smaller hoop. I grabbed all the remaining materials that I wasn't using on the wood. I did grab a drill bit that was the size of the rings on my chandelier strings. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but that is what I did. I used my measuring tape to go around my circle and mark every 4 inches because that's where I'm gonna drill on the actual side, not the top of the ring, to insert the little chandelier situation. This is where I made things so much more complicated and so unnecessary. I decided to make like a T situation, groove out the center piece of that guy and wood glue that tiny piece within it, and then attach the rim to it thinking that that was enough support. It made sense in my brain at the moment, so I went with it. I measured out 10 equal strands of the chandeliers because I made 10 holes along that skinny tiny rim with my drill bit. I did spray paint the hoop orange and then I attached those little rings into the holes that we made earlier and just did that all the way around. They were actually really easy to open with my hands, so I didn't need the pliers. This is where things just get weird. I wanted to attach it to this tiny little square and drill a hole and use the washer and the screw that came with it to attach it to this piece of wood and E6000 it. It was just a mess. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea or that it would actually work, but if you're throwing paper into this hoop, for sure it could work. I used my nail gun to nail through the back piece to the piece that was holding the rim, and it truly did look so rad. I wanted this to work so bad. I thought it was going to work. I'm just going to continue to show you how I installed it. I drilled a hole on each side of where that rim was going to be attached to the backboard and just centered it where I wanted it, drilled corresponding holes, put bolts through and washers on the end, and then got to working on actually putting those strands together to mimic a net. Like I said earlier, these hoops were super easy to pull apart with my fingers, so I just kind of sat back and looked at a picture of a net and attached the hoops to each other where I thought was necessary. This did take a little bit of patience because anytime I stepped back, I was like connecting the wrong pieces, but at the end of the day, it looked stunning. To shine it up a bit, I did add a shellac and it turned out amazing, but then this happened and I forgot to attach my mic to my camera, so don't kill me for the audio right now. So Paul test shot a foam ball into this and it basically already broke, so all that didn't work. But Paul has a game inside that we're gonna take. Yeah, he figured out a solution actually. I got this for Paul for Christmas, what, 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, and when they play it, they only play with one anyways.
One side, yeah.
He has offered up a rim for this DIY.
I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take blame for that one. We need the Allen wrench stress, look.
I know, you need that, where's the thing?
Like this.
Oh, I see.
Wow, this is real easy.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Everything's going wrong.
Perfect. That's why I needed a hammer.
Because I didn't know if you wanted to chip wood.
No, maybe hammer this in there.
You're right. Everything you say is right.
Now, take this out. So you think this is the middle?
No, I was gonna say on the line.
Oh, babe.
Lines. I didn't touch it. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Baby, stop touching. You're so handsome. Okay.
And why don't you come around and do this? We can just flip this around. It'll be much easier than.
That one's just far back. That's why. Stop. Stop. Oh.
Yeah, I'm there.
You know what? I'll just let you do it because I'm about to punch this thing. Fuck up.
Or did it come off?
No, it came off.
Oh, I'm about to say, like, what?
Them down. You're pushing them up at an angle. You gotta push them straight in. You gotta push it down, 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 down. Wait. Now just slowly. Don't jam it. Just be nice. Just work it in. Don't force it. Okay, you just took the bottom two out.
It's not that I did that. Anything, it pops out. Watch. You go over there, you understand. It's just hitting the middle. It's got to point down like you were saying before. There you go. Right there, straight. It's going through. Put it, boom. It's in. As much as I wanted the chandelier situation to work, it did not. So lesson learned, just buy a rim and install it. So this is more of like a DIY backboard tutorial, and I wish it was like a DIY your entire hoop, but that's what happened, and you know I like to be real and honest with you guys. Now I need to figure out how to hang it and put this thing to use, so follow us on our Instagrams to see that. Even though it looks super awesome, my intention wasn't to bring you a tutorial that a lot of people have done already. I wanted to make it so unique and it just didn't turn out that way, but regardless, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I will catch you Wednesday for another DIY.